I'll teach you everything you need to know about advanced C-framing in 5 minutes. I still haven't convinced you to use the C-framing instead of position or rotation? Okay, fine. Let me show you some other things you can do with C-framing then. One thing you can do is easily make a part rotate to look at another part. Like we have part A right here and part B right here. Let me move it over here, over here. Let me move this guy over here, over here. Actually, I'll put a decal on part A on the front. I put a decal on part A just so you can see what way it's facing. And if we want part A to look at part B, all we have to do is this. Part A.cframe equals cframe.new. We write part A.position because we want it to keep the same position that it currently has, comma, part B.position because we want it to look at part B's position. And now when we run it, oh, let me anchor this. Now when we run it, you can see that part A is now facing and looking at part B all creepy like. Doesn't matter where part B is, this will work. It'll look at it all creepy like. You see that? I got my eyes on you. Another thing we can do is position things in front of other things relative to their rotation. I'll show you by using the parts again. I'll add a decal on part B also. Let's say we want to move part A in front of part B. We can use something called a LookVector, and I'll show you how it works and then I'll explain it. We want to set part A's C-frame equal to part B.C-frame plus part B.C-frame.LookVector times 25. And I'll show you what happens when I run this. In the direction that this part is looking, it'll go 25 in front of it. Even if you rotate it this way and this way, now it's facing that way, it'll still be positioned in that direction. No matter what way this part is facing, it'll go in front of the part it's facing. The way this works is, we want to change part A's C-frame to be the exact same as part B's, but we want to move it in the direction that the part is looking at. That's what this part basically means. Plus, it's just adding the direction it's looking at and then how far ahead you want to move it. If you just want it a little bit in front of the part, you can make it 5 studs in front. See that? If you want it really far, you can do 500 studs. Oh boy, that's far. Wow. You could even make it behind the part if you make it negative. It'll just be in the opposite direction, behind the part. See, it's facing that way, but the part is behind it. And the really cool stuff about this is that you could also use UpVector for the other axes, and it'll be above it. And there is no down vector, but again, you can just make it negative, and it'll be beneath it. And again, for the last axis, there is a RightVector. If you make it positive, it'll be to the right of it, see? And if you make it negative, guess what? It goes to the left of it. The last thing I want to show you is lerping, and we're going to need another little part for this. There's the little part. What lerping does is it finds a specific C-frame that's in between 2 points. For example, I'll use part A and part B to represent 2 points, the position of part A and the position of part B. And if I want to find the midpoint between these two, I can just do part C.C-frame. This is the part that I'm going to use to indicate the midpoint, equals part A's C-frame, and we want to lerp that, or interpolate. I think lerp is short for that. Don't correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. And we want it part B. So what this is just saying, we want part C C-frame to be somewhere in between part A and part B C-frame, dot C-frame. And then where exactly along from part A to part B? If you want it to be halfway, the second argument takes in a number 0 to 1. So 0.5 would be the halfway mark. So as you can see, the midway point is not only halfway distance-wise, but it's also halfway rotation-wise. I think using a for loop shows us better. For I equals 0 to 1. So I put in a for loop, it's going to go from 0 to 1, going up by 0.01 every time. So you can see, like, if this is 0, it's going to be all the way at part A's C-frame. When it gets to 1, it'll be all the way at part B's C-frame. Let me put a weight so you can actually see it happen. Not only is it moving positionally, but also rotationally.